Alright, so the recording is active. Now, I want all of you, right, to go to your projects folders. Actually, you already downloaded the lineup exercise files, so if you already copied them into the source images folder, the file that we're going to start to use for modeling is this ME163. So what is this ME163? It's a very famous German World War II rocket plane that was used to shoot down US and Allied bombers. Right, so it's a very simple aircraft, and it is something that I think a beginner should be able to model with all the basic knowledge that you guys have right now. So the first thing we need to do is to set up this reference inside Maya first. Alright, so for this one, I think we can save this now. Save this scene, and we'll start a brand new scene. And we're going to save this scene as the ME163. Just type 163, and then I'm going to put underscore 01, so to say that this is the first file. So everything is right now is empty. I already set the project, so the first thing I want to do is to set up my image reference. So as usual, shift right mouse click, create a plane. And this plane, right, I'm going to reduce the subdivisions to 0. And I'm going to scale it up so that it fills up the entire grid, like so. And right mouse click on it, assign a new material, surface shader. If you all do this more than enough, right, then everything should be automatic really. So under the surface shader tab, click on the checker button, click on File, then click on the folder, then look for the ME163, that's it. And then before I assign it, alright, let me just double check and make sure that this is a square image. And unfortunately, it is not a square image. It's 1187 by 1100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my photop, right, and reprocess this image. I'm going to reload photop.com, and then I'll just drag and drop this image into photop and resize the canvas. So click on Image, Canvas Size, and copy the width. Okay, the width is 1187, larger than the height. So I'm going to copy this value and then paste it over the height. So click OK, and now you can see that we have converted this into a square image. Then click File, Export as JPEG, save, and then you will download it into your downloads folder. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to overwrite the image inside my projects folder. So it's 3DM, then go over to my toy train. This is my project folder. Go inside source images, and I'm going to overwrite this one. So just right mouse click and then paste. It's going to say replace. I'll say yes, replace the image. Then I'll go back to my Maya. I can reselect it again, and this time it should be a square image now. Alright, and you can see that it's been updated 5:14 p.m. So click on open, and then if I press number 6, and I should have a perfectly undistorted image which I can use to line up. Alright, so first we want to line up the front view, or we can actually line up the top view, because just nice we have the top view pointing downwards. If we change our view, hold down the space bar, left mouse click, go to the top view. We already have the top view perfectly, is pointing downwards. So I'm going to line up for the top view first and put the airplane right in the center here. Okay, I'm going to move my pivot point to the center here. So press D, then move the pivot point to the center, so it makes it easier for me to move it. Then press D again, get out. Okay, my top view is actually lined up already. So now I want to switch back to my perspective view. Press your space bar, left mouse click on Maya, go back to perspective view. Then I'm going to push this down. Alright. Now I'm going to duplicate this view now. So hold on to shift, then grab the up arrow, and then I'm going to line up my front view now. So press E to rotate, holding down the J, and then rotate it until it's 90 degrees, pointing forwards. You can check your rotation over here in your channel box. Press W to move it up until you can see the front view is pointing to the front view direction. So now I want to change to my front view. You can use this view cube, but I don't really like to use this one. I just like to use my shortcut. So press the space bar, left mouse click on Maya view, and then switch to front view. Okay, right now I don't see the grid lines over it, so I need to switch back to my perspective view. I'm going to push back until it is behind the thick line here, then change to my front view again. Press my space bar and then change to front view. Then now move this view until it is right in the center like that. Alright, then press D and then reposition the pivot point right here. Press D again to get out. Then now I can move this until the bottom skid of the plane is touching the thick line here. Okay, so now my front view is lined up. So top view is okay, then my front view is okay. Now switch back to my perspective view. Now I need to do the side view. So select the front view, holding down the shift, and then clone another side view. Now press E, then hold on to the Y-axis and hold on to J to duplicate, or rather to rotate 90 degrees. Okay, so you can check the values in your channel box here. Okay, right now the axis, right, you notice that axis is at the bottom, so I can press D to move the axis to the top, then move it slightly to the right here. It just makes it easier for me to move, alright, the plane later on. Press D. Okay, now I want to switch to the right view, so press the space bar, left mouse click on Maya and go to right view. Okay, so this is the right view now. I don't see the grid pattern right on this. That means I need to go back to perspective view and push this further back, alright, until I can see it in the grid view. Now, you can do all of this while you're in the 4 view. Okay, remember you can tap the space bar to see the 4 views, but remember to move your cursor over here and press 6 to enable the views here. So this is my side view. My front view is okay. My top view is okay. Now it's only my side view. So I need to tap the space bar to maximize. Then grab the side view and then place it down until the skid right is touching down on the ground. Like so. Okay, so now my side view is done. So I can tap the space bar. See, side view, front view, all of this is done. And then actually we can start to do our modeling. Now, for some of you, you might find that, hey, it's very hard to know which one is the front, which one is the top, like looking at this. So what you can do is that we can trim these references so that we are not confused by all these additional drawings. So let's start with the front view. Okay, we can go over to edit mode, go to edge mode, and then we can use the multi-cut tool to insert one edge here, and then another edge here. Then press Q to go to face selection mode and select the faces that you don't want and then delete. So now we only isolate the front view. So now go back to object mode. I can rename this plane, I can call this front reference. Now coming to the side view, we can do the same thing here. So holding down the shift right mouse click, use the multi-cut tool, holding down the control over the edge, cut one edge here, cut one edge here, and below, and maybe another edge here. Then press Q to go to select, go to face selection mode, select all the faces you don't need, or actually select the face you want, then press Ctrl Shift I to invert and delete. Okay, so right now I isolated my side view. So I'm going to rename this my side reference. Okay, once you've done this, we're going to isolate the top view. So same thing, shift right mouse click, go to edge selection, shift right mouse click again and use multi-cut, holding down the control, then cut one edge here, cut one edge here, cut another edge here. Press Q to go to select, right mouse click and hold, go to face selection, select only the face you want to keep, and use this keyboard combination, Ctrl Shift I for invert selection, then you can delete. Right now, you can see now the reference is much neater. We don't have any other images to distract us. So once you're done with this, I'm going to rename the last one here. This one is my top reference. Okay. So once you have all your references ready, we're going to put them in their own layers. So grab all of these and then click on the last button here. And then we can lock them. So we're going to rename the layer. We're going to call this references. And then save. Then you can even give it a color if you want. Okay, I'm going to click on this third button to change to R. So actually I'm going to give it a different color, just for fun. Alright. So now, once you click on the R over here in the layer, you can no longer select them. And then basically your reference is all lined up ready, and you can start to do your 3D model. Okay, so we're going to start by first creating a basic primitive. So can anyone tell me what is the best and suitable primitive, right, to use for this aircraft? You've done it before, so you know. Okay, so it's a cylinder. Okay, so we start off with a cylinder. Same thing, we don't want to use a cylinder with too many sides. Right, so we will create a cylinder. Okay, but this cylinder got too many sides, so we will reduce it to 8 as well. Same as the hat. Okay, 8 is more than enough. Alright, we can gradually add more later if we want. And then we're going to rotate the cylinder 90 degrees, holding down J, and then bring it down to 90 degrees. Alright. Now, of course, just now earlier on, right, I showed you guys a method to show the cylinder using X-ray. But X-ray, one thing I don't like about X-ray is that it reduces the opacity of my reference. So I'm going to show you another technique that was used, actually this technique was used quite a lot in the early days of Maya. That is, we're going to apply a special material to our cylinder. Alright, so I'm going to right mouse click on this and assign a new material. Okay, so instead of blend, we're going to assign a Lambert because I don't want the shininess of the blend material. So I'm going to assign a Lambert material. So go to Lambert material. Okay, and then I'm going to change, I'm going to call this model material. Call it model matte. And then the color, right, I'm going to change it into a light cyan color. But the most important thing is the transparency. So going over to the material properties, I can check out the transparency. So right now, without using the X-ray, I can get the effect and better than X-ray. So if I want it to be solid again, unfortunately, I have to switch back to solid material here. But one thing you can do is that I can go into this transparent material. If you want to switch back to your solid material again, you can right mouse click on it and then assign existing material Lambert 1, and then you'll be solid again. So if you want to look through it, right mouse click on it, assign existing material, model matte, and then you'll be transparent again. Okay, so right now I'm in this transparent material. I'm going to turn on wireframe. Makes it easy for me to see how to reference this cylinder. So press W. I'm going to move the cylinder right in the center portion of this aircraft body. Then I'm going to start to scale it up until it matches the length of this drawing. Okay, I can switch over to vertex mode in the side view and then just gradually move it until it matches the length of the overall model. So let's go back to my perspective view and see what is the result so far. We can go to the front view and check. Okay, it's matching the thickness. Let's check the top view. Alright, it's matching overall. Okay, my top view, I think I need to shift it to the right a little bit. So that's why your alignment is very important. So I'm gonna temporarily unlock the top view, then just shift it a little bit to the right until it's in the center like this. And right now I noticed something. The top view seems to be a little bit off. It seems to be rotated a little bit off. So I'm going to use rotation. And if you want to do fine rotation, right, I'm going to teach you a technique. You can click on plus to increase the size of the manipulator. Plus and minus, okay, next to your number row, to increase the size of this manipulator. So now I'm going to rotate slightly. Okay, and then press W to move again, so that I can get it to line up straight, dead center like this. Okay, once you're done, alright, you can press minus to reduce the size of the manipulator again, back to the normal size. Okay, so now I can lock the reference again. Okay, then I can continue to add the detail. Alright, so first I want to get this, okay, I will not be modeling the entire plane, so I'm just going to do the fuselage first, and we will continue tomorrow. Right, so first we got the rough thickness of the aircraft now done. So next we want to insert a number of subdivisions so that we can create this tubular shape or this teardrop shape. So we'll look at the nose cone area here first, and we're going to use the insert or multi-cut tool to insert one edge loop here. Okay, right now I need to select the cylinder. Select the cylinder, then right mouse click, go to edge, then use the multi-cut tool. So I want to insert one edge loop here, and then one edge loop right at the thickest part of the aircraft. So press Q to go back to select, then right mouse click, go to vertex, and we're going to select this entire row of vertices first. Then use scale and uniform scale it down, like that. Then for the nose area here, we're going to do the same thing also. We're going to scale it uniformly down here like that. Then for the thickest portion here, we're going to select this row of vertices and then scale it upwards, like that. Then over this area here before the tail fin comes up, okay, we can see that it is actually another section that is narrower. But what is most narrow is actually the nozzle here. Alright? So I'm going to select this portion here, and I'm going to scale it down until it matches the nozzle area here. Now you might notice, hey, how come, what about this area here? Shouldn't it be thicker? Yes. Okay, but if you look at the cross section, if you look at the drawing, okay, let me just open up the drawing, and if you study it closely, okay, this drawing here, you can see here that towards the end here, you can still see the nose is still circular, but the main portion of the body is actually circular. Then as it nears the end, right, there's actually a portion that bulges out like that towards the end. Alright, and if you have a picture of the actual model, that's why image references on the ME162 is very important. If you go and search for ME162, you can actually find a lot of photographs of the actual aircraft itself. And then from the photograph, you can clearly see here, right, this is more cylindrical, and then this part is actually much thinner. Alright, and then we have people actually built a replica, a flying replica of this plane, and you can see how the shape is contouring around this particular model. Alright, so let's take a look at the result that we have over here. So you should get a result that looks like this, and if you want to, you can press number 3, and then you can see it's subdivided, and we can actually get quite a close shape, right, of the model here. Alright, so let me go back to level 1. Okay, what you want to do also is that you want to get rid of the faces in the back here. So I want to use vertex first. Select the vertex, the center vertex here, holding down the control right mouse click to faces, then delete. Right, so that when I subdivide this, right, the central vertex, right, will not collapse into a dot here. So we actually have a hole over here. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. We have half an hour for you guys to try out. So what I want you to do is at least prepare all these lineup images first. And if you cannot start to do the basic model, that is fine. We can actually, you have about 3 hours tomorrow to work on this. Okay, so I'll stop here first and we'll continue tomorrow.